Okay guys, welcome back to another blockchain news video. Today we have number 27 and the market is looking in the green. We got quite a few articles to go over, but right now we're looking at Bitcoin at 10,160. That's up 5% for the day. Ethereum 280 up 6%. XRP at nearly 30 cents up 4.5%. Bitcoin Cash 418 up almost 3%. Bitcoin SV at 309. So right now, the rest of the market is looking pretty green, guys. You can see that Link is up almost 7%, EOS at around that 2.25%, BNB around that 2.5%, and so on throughout the market. So looks pretty good here. We got a lot of green going on and just a few red coins, but nothing too major, just like I had expected. We're back over that 10K mental mark, so that's good. We're currently at 10,157, nearly up 4.3% for Bitcoin. So first article of the day, we have DeFi project bZx once again has been hacked. Second time this week, guys, a loss of $630,000 in Ether. So this time it was something called a flash loan that the attacker used, where they took a loan of 7,500 Ethereum and they used another one to get the USD stablecoin from the issuer, and then they posted another collateral for a bZx loan, according to one of the analysts on Twitter. It wasn't so much as complex as you'd expect. They just took out different loans from different areas, and then due to bZx not updating the way that it should, they essentially lost a $630,000 in Ethereum. So right now, I believe bZx has actually shut down their systems. They're only going to keep things running for closing out any loans, but they're not going to be allowing any new loans until they figure things out. And they're trying to integrate Chainlink to diversify their price feeds and prevent Oracle manipulations from happening again. But this is the second time all around, and I'm sure it's pretty frustrating, not only for those that are looking from the outside in to possibly get involved, but from those that are within the platform, they're probably thinking, hey, what the heck is going on? So the first one, I believe, was 350,000 that we covered either yesterday or the day before, and now we're at 630,000. So almost nearly $1 million, guys, from bZx being lost this week. Next up, we have Bancor's DeFi ecosystem continues to grow. So this is another DeFi platform that is currently gaining traction. Banker's been around for quite a bit, but the good thing is that we've seen over 13.34 million locked in Bancor DeFi solutions. So that's a pretty good thing. Bancor works on different blockchains, not only just Ethereum, but they also work on EOS and some other different ones they've been incorporated in. So that's pretty good stuff. Next up, we have Hester Peirce stated, hey, tell me how to improve her safe harbor proposal. So she's being pretty vocal, guys. She wants to get some feedback from the community. She wants to hear what people have to say in regards to her proposal of the 3-year grace period for projects to demonstrate that they're not going to be securities. There's a lot of questions that are being put and thrown around within the space right now. For Hester Peirce, she has a lot of pressure, obviously, because she is one of the commissioners within the SEC. But then again, she's trying to have good laws that protect consumers, right, and civilians, but not only put that good protection in, but they also don't just choke the space where new projects cannot innovate. So right now, the important thing is that she's doing her best. We got some support from the community. The biggest things that projects need to demonstrate are network maturity. So basically, that's just going to mean decentralization of the token, and that has to happen within the first 3 years of the token sale. So it might not be true within the first or second year, but by that third year, you want to have that concept of network maturity in place. That way, you're not being prosecuted by the SEC to be a unregulated security or be considered a security as a whole. And the team also has to disclose key information on a freely accessible public website. So who's holding what keys and all that good stuff. Token must be offered and sold for the purpose of facilitating access to participation or the development of the network. And the team would have to file a notice with the SEC to rely on the safe harbor. So just keeping that communication open with the SEC, showing that the project has good faith. There's no desire to create fraud or to go away with the people's money. So that's really the big thing here. There are some concerns of, hey, will this initiate the ICO craze that we had back in 2017? And she does make statements that that's not going to be the case. This is just to empower those projects that really want to get off the ground, and they don't really have other ways or any other means other than getting that token sale out, getting that project started, and then eventually not being a security after that third year. So that's really what she's trying to show. She's trying to keep, the U.S. in a competitive position with having their companies be able to, come out and create their own projects without getting too much regulatory pressure. So it's going to be pretty good. That means, we're moving forward in the space, especially from the United States kind of side. They've been pretty slow, but Hester Peirce seems to be really just trying to deal with everything at the same time, left and right, from the regulators' pressure and the community's pressure to move the United States Securities and Exchange Commission forward. Next up, we have Hash Wallet deploys a new smart card that enables users to perform transactions securely anytime, anywhere, guys. So the card is going to look just like a regular credit card. It's not going to be like some of the hardware wallets that we've seen, or a USB drive of any form. Currently, you're going to be able to carry it around. And one of the bigger things is that the private keys are actually stored on the smart card, and they can't really be extracted by the user or anybody, really. So that'll keep people from losing their private keys to the public or to a hacker of any case, right? Because you don't have to know those keys. There are some external keys that you are going to have to keep your card safe in case, you need to get your funds back because you lost the card or anything. But other than that, you shouldn't have to worry about a private key that makes your card or wallet hackable in that case. So next up, we have seamless connectivity for them. So you're going to see support from Bluetooth and NFC connections. It's going to, support the latest and greatest wireless connections in their own ways. They're going to be making it pretty secure. They state how they're going to be doing that here in more detail. Recovery of the hard wallet. So you're going to have that recovery seed that you're going to be able to have access to. They're going to be paired to the device via NFC, and it's going to be pretty state of the art to be able to get access back to your hardware wallet. So you don't want to lose that recovery seed. It's going to be pretty user friendly. It's going to be easy to manage smart card via applications. So they're expecting their apps to launch here in October 2020 for Android, iOS, macOS, and Linux. So that should be pretty good. It should be coming in at the end of the year. And then support for several cryptos. They got about the top 6 right now. They don't have Bitcoin SV, but they have Tether, Litecoin, and the top 4. So that should be pretty good. Biometric security support is also in place. So they have fingerprint access to your card, and that way you can sign any form of transaction in the trusted environment. And the biggest thing here is that they, want to limit the ways that people can run away with your crypto funds, right? They want to make it secure. They want to make it easy to carry around. So they made it into a credit card kind of form factor, and you shouldn't really have to worry about the hacker running away with your private key and getting into your funds in that shape or form. So next up, we have U.S. presidential contender Michael Bloomberg proposes clear regulatory framework for crypto. So this is actually pretty good. We saw that Andrew Yang was one of our bigger supporters within the crypto space for the presidential campaign taking place in the U.S. But right now, Michael Bloomberg seems to have picked up the stake here from Andrew Yang and is now trying to push forward a new regulatory framework for cryptos. He is, being pretty vocal about it. He's saying that it's a new asset class, that it's time to take it very serious. The regulatory oversight over it is fragmented and underdeveloped. And again, look at how, look at what Michael Bloomberg looks like, guys. This isn't, your run-of-the-mill 30-year-old, 40-year-old guy. This guy's, been on this earth quite some time by the looks of it. So it's good to have this kind of facial figure in front of the idea of accepting crypto, because that's easier also for those people that are in power, right, that look like they're in this age range, right, top 60s, 70s, right? And so that's going to be good for that top support that we need from the US government. But in any case, that's what he's pushing for. He wants proper, guidance for securities. He's not tiptoeing around it, guys. He wants to protect consumers from crypto-related fraud, because that's another issue, right? If you're receiving some of these airdrops and stuff like that, the U.S. has some very technical laws currently in place, and I believe the IRS did release some guidance, but it's kind of confusing. So if sometimes it's even better to even sell these airdrops. You don't even know how you could be held responsible for any of these airdrops right now with some of the guidance that we've seen. But in any case, Bloomberg is now the leader, and his numbers are pretty high up for being a presidential candidate. So he seems to want to go toe-to-toe with President Trump. Let's see how that's going to continue to go. In any case, we will get some good exposure here from his presence and talking about cryptos and how important that is. So that'll be good to get in the ears of any of the people that haven't really heard about crypto or don't take it seriously. Next up, we have collectible William Shatner figurines have now been authenticated on Ethereum. So right now it's live on the Ethereum mainnet, and these figurines, they've been processed for around $10,000 each, and it's been quite a few of them. So these collectible items are now live, and here you can see some, right? There are the Captain Kirk action figures from Star Trek. You can see some of them here. I don't really know how there's such a big market for it, but who'd know, right? That they're worth so much money, and you can track it on the blockchain. You have all these information specifications about it, the height, width, depth, pictures that identify it, all that good stuff. It's being recorded on the blockchain, and so that's pretty cool. A cool way to keep that authenticity of items in place. That way you know exactly what you're purchasing, right? It's on the blockchain, and it can't be changed by some bad actor. So they're saying we have the relationships, we've accumulated most of the savvy, we are clear on the business model, but a 325-year-old instrument in the hands of a century-old dealer is not coming on chain 2 weeks after the launch of the pilot set of assets. So they're talking about a 1931 vintage wine and a violin that I guess they're in possession of, that it's $9 million violin. So pretty interesting if they threw that on the chain, but it seems like they're not trying to do that overnight, right? They're trying to work with what they have here on the Ethereum mainnet, the Ethereum's platform, where they're having the collectible items being posted and sold and bought. So pretty cool stuff. Next up, we have the IRS is inviting crypto firms to a summit in DC next month. So they're going to be having a four panels addressing technology issues faced by exchanges, tax returns, and regulatory compliance. They're coming in, and they seem like they want to have an open conversation here with some of these crypto firms, where they want to get an idea of what's really taking place here with the ecosystem and cryptocurrency, and see how they can probably better inform themselves for when they go to create some more guidance and regulation. I think it's good to see the IRS trying to step up and not just look super aggressive and trying to choke the space with taxes and all the stuff that we know they do care about, and it's understandable, but also working with the space to grow and probably evolve in their mindsets. So it's going to be good. I hope to hear more from this in the coming month. Next up, we have Binance Futures weekly volume hits record 16 billion, guys. So they came up from around 50 million as early as a few weeks ago, and now they're all the way up to 16 billion. And part of the reasons that they're seeing such growth, even though we have players like Bakkt, Bitfinex, and some other ones that have launched Bitcoin derivatives, is that Binance is claiming that one of the reasons is because traders prefer its futures trading platform, is that they can get access to the entire ecosystem without the need to spend on fees when moving funds from spot and futures contracts spot and futures accounts. And that seems to be true. When you take a look right now, when you log into Binance, you can access just anything and everywhere with ease. You don't really have to switch around. And I didn't even know that was kind of an issue that that other traders could have on other platforms. So that convenience factor from Binance right now, it's pretty appealing to traders, and it's what's keeping most of the volume on that platform, and actually taking it all the way up to 16 billion. So that's pretty good. Now, we do know that we're seeing futures pairs that are not available on other platforms, right? We're seeing Link. What do we have here? Stellar, Cardano, Monero, right? Tron, Ethereum Classic. We have Tezos, Binance. We have a bunch of these pairs trading against USDT, which is that stable coin to the US dollar. And so that's really keeping the futures contracts pretty competitive, and they are also stimulating the volume for the spots market. So that's actually pretty good. It seems like the volumes that are taking place from the futures contracts do affect the spot trading markets in themselves. So very good stuff, guys. I don't see Binance slowing down in any case, and who knows, they might be taken very seriously when it comes to probably institutional players within their space, not just only us retail folks. Next up, we have Engine launches game development platform on Ethereum. So Engine has been a game development platform that's been working in the space for quite some time, but now it looks like they'll finally be going live with their project. They're using the Ethereum ERC 1155 standard, which allows their developers to integrate both fungible and non-fungible tokens. We did discuss what NFTs were in one of my previous videos, and those are basically tokens that represent a item that is pretty rare, right? That's unique. And so that's pretty cool that they'll be able to have those two token standards within their gaming platform, or game platform. And so they'll be able to integrate it into existing games and new ones. Let's see how this plays out. There seems to be a lot of excitement here with Engine. I've also discussed how gaming is a big thing here in the space now, with this idea of getting the NFTs in place, right? You know, you want to be able to game, you want to be able to have something that's, if you acquire it, it's rare, and then you can also get that kind of respect for it. And being able to put it on a market and trade it, you know, that would be amazing. So it's expected to have the SDK, which is the software development kit for Engine. It's going to be on Q2 2020. That'll be the public release. And there's about more than 2,500 projects that are currently using that ERC 1155, guys. So it's definitely no stranger to some form of adoption. They also have the standard, same technology behind Microsoft's Azure Heroes blockchain-based contributor rewards program. So they seem to definitely know what they're doing. And for the last 12 years, minting, deploying, and managing blockchain assets has been quite challenging, that requiring a specialized knowledge, but that's all going to be changing today, says the CTO of Engine. So let's see, pretty big statement here. Let's see how they're going to be managing their tokens. Next up, we have Enterprise Blockchain VeChain lands on China's new national video playlist. So VeChain actually has a lot of support from China, guys. I don't know if you've actually heard about their blockchain, but they've, you know, been doing their own thing. You don't really hear them in the news as of right now, but I remember back when they were having their mainnet swaps and their coins swapped and all that good stuff, they had a lot of news to come out. But in any case, they're being supported by China's national level video app for next gen 5G devices, and their videos are being optimized for 4K, 8K resolutions. Video titles about digital carbon ecological platform of VeChain, VeChain smart chip automation workstation, VeChain blockchain cold chain logistics solution, hands-on demonstration how to use VeChain Pro app to verify the authenticity of goods. So if China is, you know, pushing their project, pushing this blockchain pretty seriously on their to the public, then that means that, you know, you can rest assured that VeChain is not going anywhere, especially with the support of China at this huge level. So they have that blessing of the national government, even though they're pretty strict, and they're gonna, you know, go ahead and take advantage of it. They're gonna make sure that it's applied in the national and private industry sector. So that's pretty good stuff here for VeChain. And last up for today, guys, we have China's central bank branch to destroy banknotes from coronavirus hit sector. So it seems like they're going to be taking some of this money that's been collected from hospitals and buses, all this cash, and they're going to be destroying it, guys. Hey, I don't really think this is going to be a cure or of any case, but they're trying to do that to battle against the outbreak that we've seen for the coronavirus. Here we see about 75,000 cases, 2,000 deaths, about 14,449 recovered. You know, sucks for the number of deaths, definitely, but relatively good ratio hope to see the recovery numbers go up in comparison to the total number of cases. And that's what we can expect right now from China in regards to their cash. They're probably trying to continue to disinfect the cash, but those that they can't, they're just going to throw away, and then they're going to put them out of circulation for 14 days after they try to disinfect it and then put it back into circulation. In any case, you know how it is with central governments. They can print and reprint cash, so I'm not worried for this paper being destroyed. But it is a testament to once you have an outbreak, cash can even become an issue within the country, right? And if you think about cryptocurrencies, this wouldn't be happening with a digital currency. So important to keep in mind, and I'm sure China sees that. But that's going to be it for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, you can go ahead and click the like button. You can sub to my channel for more blockchain news updates. I got these coming throughout the week. And if you want to keep the conversation going, leave a comment down below. I'll definitely be seeing you guys on the next one.